Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. So it is finally 2024, and since it's the beginning of the new year, I thought that I would share with you guys all the books that I read in 2023. 2023 was a big year in reading for me. It's the first year I went back into reading again, and I had a goal for the year that I would read 50 books, but I ended up reading 56. So I read 6 books past my goal for the year, and I'm honestly very happy with the books that I read. A lot of 5 stars. Some books, I would happy to say that most of the books that I read I loved, some I liked, and very little the ones that I didn't enjoy. And even though I rated the books as soon as I finished them, there's a lot of books that my ratings actually changed like after a while. Like if I came back, visited the book, if I revisited the book, whether I reread it or I was reading about it or anything, me thinking back to the book, I've noticed that my ratings for a lot of them have changed. If you guys want to know how many books I will be reading this year, stick around to the end of the video and I will share with you guys my 2024 reading challenge goal. So the way I'm going to go through the books, I'm not going to share my what the book is about and everything, because there are 56 books and I feel that's going to take forever. The first books I'll be talking about right now are books I've talked about a bunch of times on this channel, and it is the series of A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. Rating stays the same. Probably about this one probably changed. I think I gave this a 4. I would probably give this a 5 too. I don't know. The way I see it kind of changed. So I don't know. I would get overall my overall rating of the series did not change. It's still 5 stars, but just this one I feel like I would give a 5 stars as well. So these were already 5 stars and then I had this as 4. I would give everything a 5 stars. I honestly love this series, and if you're looking for a YA mystery thriller murder book, this is a great series to start with. We have the book Norwegian Wood by Murakami. I honestly changed my mind about this book. There's still one scene in this book that I just can't get past. I don't know, it just made me so uncomfortable. But no, I think that something that really changed my perspective about this book. I heard Jack Edwards talking about this book and his way of describing it, and kind of appreciating how it captures the perspective of youth after losing a friend and trying to move on with your life and losing someone you love and moving on from a failed relationship and everything. So I think this book is something that I think I would definitely give it a reread. I haven't read it again. I have only read it the first time, but I would give this a reread, actually, trying to get my head in a different headspace, because when I first read it, I didn't read what it was about, and I do that with a lot of books. So I think maybe I could change my perspective about how this book is. So I gave this a 3. I'll probably give this a 4 actually, because the more I started reading about the book and the author's style of writing, I kind of understood it a bit better. So I would give this another reread. So yeah, I would probably give this one a 4. Then there is The Book Thief. The Book Thief it's honestly such an emotional read. I feel like right now, when I first read this book, I gave it a 3. I would give this probably a 4.5. Again, I wasn't sure what this book was about when I first went into it. I kind of just got this book on the basis of the book being narrated by death, and I thought that was such an interesting concept. And I don't know, I think I would definitely read this book again, and I've actually seen the movie after I read this book. And yeah, I think this is a great book. I really enjoyed this one, and as you can see, I also annotated it a lot. I'm not very good at annotating books because there's a lot of times where I would start annotating and then the book would be empty by the time I finish it, because I would forget to annotate. I would just be reading, and then I would just completely forget to annotate. But this one I kind of annotated a lot. I haven't annotated the others actually. I think A Good Girl's Guide to Murder I did annotate, but I didn't put the tags. But here, you can easily tell I was annotating the whole time. I'm giving you another page. Here, for example, I was annotating the hell out of this book. But yeah, this is definitely a great read, and if you're not into reading, I would also recommend the movie. The movie did not change almost anything from this book. So you would get the same story, the same details, everything. And then the last physical, I think this is the last physical. But yeah, last physical is Things I Should Have Known by Claire Lazebnik. I still, till this day, can't figure out how to pronounce her last name, but this book. Like I said, I would give this book a 4 stars. I would give this one 4 stars. Yeah, great read. Very, very wholesome, a YA book. So if you're into, like, I'm not gonna explain the books because that's gonna take me forever. But you can go on to my other videos where I talk about books, where I talk more in depth about these books. So I would recommend this one. I would recommend it to, like, and it's also such a very easy read. It's not that long, but I would recommend this book if you're looking to get into reading. It's very beginner friendly. It's very beginner friendly, and it's not that hard to read at all. So if you're looking to start reading and you're trying to find a very beginner friendly book, I would recommend this one. Now we move on to the digital books. I'm gonna open my Goodreads because that is where I keep track of all my books. And if you guys want to follow my Goodreads to keep track of my ratings or my reviews, I will put a link in the description for my profile. So the next book I read was Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover. I remember giving this book a 4. I think that changes. No, I think I gave this a 5. I would probably give it a 3.5, maybe 4. It's a good book. Not really like, now that I think about it again, I'm not really a fan of the characters. The guy was just not ready to be involved with anyone at any point, but because he was just so overly traumatized by what happened, honestly understandable. But yeah, no, he just like really, I don't know, I just did not like now thinking about it again, I was like, this is not a healthy book. Like, this is very toxic, and I'm pretty sure like she wasn't trying to portray it as anything healthy. But yeah, no, this is not no, I would definitely change my rating of this book. It is not 5 stars for me. It would definitely be like 3.5 or 4. Then the next book I read was Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. I love this book. Definitely one of my all-time favorites of this past year. I gave this one a 5 stars. This will always be 5 stars for me. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care if you hate the book. This is a 5 stars for me. I love this book, and it's the first hockey romance book I read, and it kind of opened up the world of hockey romance to me. So yeah, I would definitely recommend this book as well. It's a great read, and my friend a while ago, maybe like last week, she told me that she started reading this book, and she was telling me about it and how she's loving it. So I would definitely recommend this book. I've been recommending this book. Next book is Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I'm actually rewatching the show today. I'm in episode 6 or something. It's still going on in the living room because my dog's in the living room and she doesn't like sitting in like complete silence. So I have it on for her, and then as soon as I'm done filming, I'm gonna continue watching it. Yeah, I love this book so much. I love anything. I'm so fascinated with anything that has to do with the 70s, like music from the 70s, rock bands from the 70s. I'm just like very fascinated by all of that. And honestly, I'm dying to buy the vinyl from the show, the soundtrack, because I listened to this album more than anything on my Spotify. And The River from the show, the song, is my top song for 2023, so that tells you something. Next series I'll be talking about is the Twisted series by Anna Huang, and I have to say this whole series for me is a full 5 stars. I definitely give this whole series a 5 stars. I love this series so much, and this series was like the first writings of Anna Huang that I've read, and it made me a huge fan, and then I went on to read her other books. So yeah, I'm a huge fan of her writing, and I love this series so much. And yeah, 5 stars. 5 all across except for Twisted Hate that I gave 4. Yeah, no, I gave all of that. Wait, Twisted Love I gave 4 stars. Twisted Love and Twisted Hate I gave 4 stars, but Twisted Games and Twisted Lies I gave 5 stars. But overall, the whole series for me is 5 stars. I love this series so much, and it's definitely one of my favorites. We have Birthday Girl by Penelope Douglas. I think I gave this one a 3 before. Yeah, I'd give it a 2. I don't know, the trope for me was just a little too much. I didn't like the trope. Like, now I'm thinking about it, I'm like, no, like this whole trope is like no for me. This is a big no for me. I don't like age gaps. I don't like the big age gaps. Like, he was her ex-boyfriend's dad. Like, I just, no, nope, nope, nope. I don't like that trope at all. It's so weird for me, and I'm not into it at all. So yeah, I would give this a 2, maybe a 1. Yeah, like, I don't even remember anything from the book that was like, wow, like I can't, like, no, no. Next book I read was The Right Move by Liz Tomford. 5 stars all around. 5 stars all around. I love this book so much. It is definitely one of my favorite reads of all time, and I will say that this is one of my top books. Honestly, Liz Tomford always nails the books. Like, like the plots, the tropes, the characters, everything is just great. And I have to say, I'm not a huge fan of like the quirky female character. Like, that's not something I'm a fan of, and honestly it ruined a lot of books for me. But I love how she like went on with Indy's character. Like, yeah, she has her quirks and she is a quirky character. She literally describes her as a quirky character, but not in a way where she's annoying with it. Like, she doesn't act like a kid. She's not childish, she's not immature. She just has her quirks and she's a complete like ball of sunshine, but she's not annoying with it. And that is the way you write quirky female characters. Like, that's not, like, I'll explain the kind that honestly really irritated me in like the later books that are coming up. But no, this is like honestly the way to write a quirky character without making them annoying, the way she created Indy. And I have to say, this is honestly one of my all-time favorite books. And then we have the Dreamland Billionaire series by Lauren Asher, and that is the books The Fine Print, Terms and Conditions, and then the Final Offer. I gave this whole series a 4 stars. Each book is a 4 stars for me. I have to say, Fine Print, now we were talking about the quirky character. The Fine Print, Zara, however you say it. No. The way she wrote her, that quirky is annoying as hell. Like, I don't like the way she wrote her character. She was like wheezing and giggling every 2 seconds. Like, she was like, the way she was doing it, like the amount of times, like she can be turned into a drinking game. It was very irritating for me. I didn't like how like she used to act. I don't know, there's just something about her character that was like very off-putting for me. I didn't like her character that much. But overall, I like the book. I like the book. I like the whole series, honestly. Like I said, 4 stars. But I don't know, just her character was the character I liked the least out of the whole series. With Terms and Conditions, I did like that one. The female character was very confident. She was very strong, very driven. And I really liked, I prefer the characters in the other books, like in Terms and Conditions and Final Offer. Final Offer is probably my favorite one out of all of them. But yeah, I would probably, yeah. But no, the ratings stay the same on this one. 4 stars all around. So back to what I was saying. So the next book that I read was The Spanish Love Deception by Elena Armas. This is another example of a quirky character that I did not like. I gave this book a 3 stars. Would probably keep it the same. It was like okay, not one of my favorites, definitely not one of my favorites. Another example of like the quirky female character that was really annoying. Like, she was just very immature, and she was holding on to this grudge against the male character where just honestly didn't make sense. What are you doing? Yeah, and also it was like this sort of insta love that I don't know, I'm not a huge fan of this book, to be honest. This this book, and then like in this like period of time, I read books that I was not a huge fan of. So there's The Spanish Love Deception, and then there's The Cheat Sheet by Sarah Adams, which I also didn't like. I honestly do not remember a thing from this book. I do remember giving it a 3 stars. I'm not going to change it since I don't remember a thing. Like, I genuinely do not remember a thing from this book, other than the fact that they were friends and that she had a crush on him, and then she got drunk and then confessed her feelings to the media because he's like a famous football player. Other than that, I don't remember a thing. I don't remember how it started. I don't remember how it ends. That's the only thing I remember, and that's it. Also, like, not one of my favorite tropes. I'm not a huge fan of friends to lovers, so also not my favorite thing. The next book is sort of the same thing. I don't remember a thing from this book, and it is Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating. Again, don't remember a thing. Not a thing. Don't remember a thing about it. I think I gave this 3 stars. Could be. I don't know. I don't know why I forget things about books I've read. Like, as soon as I read the book, I'm like, oh wow, it's so great, whatever, and then the next day, I can't remember a thing about it. I have book amnesia completely. Like, I can't remember a thing about this book. And then we have Breakaway by Grace Riley. I remember enjoying this book so much. This is another hockey romance. Yeah, I enjoyed this book. I think it was like the hockey player and the coach's daughter. I think it was like that. I gave this one a 4 stars as well. I have probably one of the worst books I read this entire, like in all of 2023. And that would be Den of Vipers by K.A. Knight. I gave this one a 1. If I could give it a 0, I would, but I would give it a 1. No plot, nothing. It was like, okay, I had no idea, to be fair. I had no idea what I was getting into when I read this book. I didn't know what the tropes were. I knew what the tropes were. I knew it was a mafia romance. I get that. That's all I knew. But it was just too much for me. Like, I'm not really into like dark romance. That's just like too much for me sometimes. And this was like the first dark romance book I read. And honestly, ever since, I have not picked up one dark romance book since this one. It was just, it put me off completely. I did not enjoy it, and it's really long. I think it was like 600 pages. That's a lot of reading for something that has no plot at all. After that, I read Iced Out by Veronica Eden, and I gave this one 5 stars. I really enjoyed this book. It's very hard for me to not enjoy any sort of sports romance book. They're just very, like, honestly, I enjoyed every single one I ever read. I don't think I've not enjoyed one of them. There wasn't one that I'm like, it's okay, like, it's fine. No, I actually loved all of them. So it's definitely one of my favorite tropes ever. That and enemies to lovers. So if those two are like wrapped together, it's just great. Honestly, one of my favorite reads of the summer, and it was Our Scorching Summer by Kels and Denise Stone. I gave this one a 5 stars. It was a great book. It was so fun, and it had those summer vibes perfectly captured. I don't know, I just really enjoyed this book so much. And I posted a review of it on my Instagram page, and the authors saw it and they reposted it on their story, and I thought that was very cool. So thank you, Kels and Denise. Thank you so much. Next book was a book by Emily Henry called People We Meet on Vacation. I think I remember giving this a 4 stars. It was okay. It wasn't like, actually I would give it a 3. I would give this one a 3. It's not one of my favorites. It's okay. It's an okay read. It's not amazing. I didn't love it. I thought it was okay. Yeah, I'd give this one a 3 stars. I read Next to You by Hannah Bonham Young, and honestly, I gave this one, I think, a 4 stars. No, I give this one 3 stars. It was like, there was like a point in this book that honestly really frustrated me. I don't like when I'm reading a book where, let's say, they're either friends with benefits or they have this sort of like agreement because they're not ready for a relationship. It's like but like when they're telling like themselves like, I have feelings for this person and I have no idea what to do and all of that, and that person's like almost begging to be with them and they're just like denying the whole thing. It just like really frustrates me, and that's sort of what was happening with this book. The female character was just denying her feelings the whole time. She was denying how he felt about her, and it was just like, just get on with it just already. Like, it's so, like, it's right there, it's in front of your face, and you're still denying it, and that really just annoyed me so much. So it's probably why I gave it a 3 stars, but it was a good read. I actually liked this one. It's just that really frustrated me with the character. And then the next book I read was A Witch's Guide to Fake Dating a Demon by Sarah Hawley. This book was fine, not like a fan. I would give this one 3 stars. Not a fan. It was like okay. It was a good read if you're looking for a sort of Halloween-ish book. It's like a small town witch and demon sort of read. It was okay. I know that it's part of a series. It's the first book of a series, but I honestly don't think I would read the next book. It It wasn't something that I was like, oh, I have to like read the second book, see what it's gonna be about. It's just like, it's okay. Like I'm good. I don't know, not my favorites of this year. And then one of my favorites of this year was Wildfire by Hannah Grace. Honestly, Hannah Grace, Hannah Huang, Liz Tomford, like those writers just are my top writers of 2023. Like they're the top 3 of my whole year, because they made my entire year with their books. Like none of their books ever disappointed me. Wildfire, I just loved it so much. It was a great read. I got a hold of it in October. I wish I got a hold of it in summer. I don't remember when it was released. It was released in October, I think. But I think it would have been such a great summer read because it was based in summer. It was like summer camp. And yeah, so I really wish that I had that like in the summer. I feel like that would have been a great read. But no, I really enjoyed this book, and it's definitely one of my favorite books of the year. I have The Ex-Hex by Erin Sterling. This one, I actually liked it a lot better than the first witchy book I read. I would give this one 4 stars. I really liked it. The characters are like, they have great banter and everything. I really like their chemistry. So yeah, I would give this one 4 stars. And there's Night Shift by Annie Crown. This is another sports romance book, and this one is a basketball one, so this is the second basketball romance I've read. But yeah, no, this one was a great one. I really enjoyed this book. It was very cute, very wholesome. Yeah, it's a very easy read. I finished this in one sitting. I think I finished it in like a couple of hours. Then there is another one of my all-time favorites, and it is Caught Up by Liz Tomford. A great book, 5 stars all around. I love this book so much, and I cannot wait for Play Along. Play Along is the next book in the series. And then the next book is the first book in the series, which is called Mile High. I gave this one 4 stars. Yeah, I can't, like, I have no complaints at all. Liz Tomford always delivers with the books, and I honestly cannot wait for the next book. Then we have King of Wrath by Anna Huang, and that is the first book in the Kings of Sin series, and 5 stars, again, 5 stars. There's King of Pride by Anna Huang, the second book in the series, and again, another 5 stars. Then we have Collide, which is by Bal Cabra, and it is from the Off the Ice series. I gave this one, I think, 4 stars. I gave this one 4 stars. Yeah, still the same rating. It was a good read. I liked it. Then we have Hooked by Emily McIntyre. I gave this one 3 stars. I think 3 stars or 2. I gave this one 3 stars. Yeah, it wasn't on it. Like, I think it's the second book in the series. It's the name of the series, the Never After series. It was okay. I wouldn't read the rest of the series, to be honest. I like the concept of it, which is like Disney villains getting, like, it's like a retelling of Disney villains, like romance stories, and there's like incorporations of like the other characters and everything. But I don't know, it wasn't like great. I don't know, I might try reading the other series. I have Twisted on my iPad. I honestly don't know who Twisted is based on, but I don't know, maybe I'll try it. But it wasn't one of my favorites. And then we have one of probably the most disappointing of this year, and It Starts With Us by Colleen Hoover. So the reason why it's disappointing for me was because I really enjoyed It Ends With Us. It was a great read for me, and I was hoping that It Starts With Us would kind of have that sort of same energy of it, and it's not. I honestly don't think, I said this before, I don't think this book should have happened. Like, it could have happened in the epilogue of It Ends With Us, like the whole thing. It's not something that it needed to be another book. I felt like it was just a very prolonged epilogue. It was just something that didn't need to happen. Yeah, I didn't enjoy it that much. I gave this one 3 stars. Then we have Behind the Net by Stephanie Archer, which is another hockey romance. I gave this one 4 stars. Another one of my least favorites of this year, and it is A Million Kisses in Your Lifetime by Monica Murphy. So I read this one, and I also read Birthday Kisses, which is like the novella that follows this book. Read both of them, did not like either of them, did not like the characters at all. Nothing about the characters I liked. I didn't enjoy this at all. I gave this one 2 stars, I think. Wait, let me see. Yeah, I gave this 2 stars. I'd probably give it a 1. I didn't enjoy a thing about this book. And I'm not gonna read anything from the series at all. I don't know, nothing about it. I've never heard of anything else from Monica Murphy. Maybe I can try to give the author another try, but this series at all, absolutely not. Then we have the Not Come Out series by Lucy Score, which is Things We Never Got Over, Things We Left Behind, and Things We Hide from the Light. These books, not in that order, but yeah, I love these books so much. I gave the series overall 5 stars. I would give all of them, I think, 5 stars. I love this series so much, and I love a small town romance. But yeah, I love this series so much. I would give this one overall 5 stars. Then we have The Mistake by Elle Kennedy, which is from the Off-Campus series. So I made a mistake in one of my previous videos when I was talking about this book. I said that the first book for the series is The Graham Effect, and it's actually not. The first book is called The Deal. The Mistake is the second book in the series. The Graham Effect is based off of the characters from The Deal, but it's sort of like the next generation sort of thing, like Garrett Graham's daughter. I made a mistake before. I said like, oh, The Graham Effect is the first book in the series. It's not. I was being stupid. I mixed up the books, but I was like kind of right because of like the characters. I just mixed up the books. But yeah, The Graham Effect is not a part of the series. It's a different series on its own. The first book in the series is The Deal, but I haven't read The Deal yet. I just read The Mistake. So I would definitely get to read I'm gonna read the rest of the Off-Campus series because I really liked it, and yeah, I love the characters in it. I gave this one 5 stars. I think I gave this either a 4 or a 5. I gave this a 4. I'll probably give it like a 4.5 actually. I really enjoyed this one. I like Elle Kennedy's writing, so yeah, I would give this maybe a 4.5. And then we have Secretly Yours by Tessa Bailey. I gave this one 4 stars. I liked it. I didn't love it, but I liked it. It was a cute read. It's a very easy, wholesome read. I enjoyed it, but not one of my favorites, but I did enjoy it. So I'll give it a 4 stars. Then we have another one of my all-time favorites for this year, and it is Love Redesigned by Lauren Asher. It is from the Lakefront Billionaire series. I really enjoyed this book so much. I love how she's always like kind of basing the romances on whether it was real estate or building houses or anything like that. It's that sort of thing. She always has that element in her books. So it always has something to do with designing or real estate or construction or anything like that, which I find very interesting. That it's sort of her signature in the books. So I really like this one, and I love Redesigned. And then we have King of Greed, which is the 3rd book in the Kings of Sin series by Anna Huang. I love this book. I gave this one 5 stars as well. And I have the 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, and I gave this one 4 stars. It took me so long to read this book. I had this book on my iPad since the beginning of the year, but I never got around to reading it. I couldn't get myself to read it for some reason. But then I sat down and I read it. But yeah, I really like the whole aspect of old Hollywood glamour and everything. So yeah, I really enjoyed this book. I gave this one 4 stars. Then we have the Fake Out by Stephanie Archer, which I think is the same series as Behind the Net. I gave this one 5 stars. I really like this one. It was a very cute read, and I really, really like this one. We have The Power Move by Elizabeth, Meitzler? I honestly don't know how to say her name, but her name's Elizabeth. I can't pronounce her last name, but it's the book The Power Move. So while I was searching for like new books to download on my iPad, I found this one as well. So I thought maybe give it a try, and I really liked it. I gave this one 4 stars. It was a cute story. I like how they met. So like they kind of weren't fans of each other when they first met, because they met when they got into a car crash. He crashed into her car, and then like that's sort of how they met, and I thought that was very cute. So yeah, I like this one. I gave this one 4 stars. And then we have Rock Bottom Girl by Lucy Score. I gave this one 4 stars. I didn't like the beginning of it. It kind of took me a while to finish this book because the beginning was sort of slow. It was kind of mundane, but then when I got into it and I continued reading it, I really liked it. Then there's Plot Twist by Erin LaRosa. I saw this on Goodreads and I thought the cover was cute, but I don't know. I would give this one maybe 3. I didn't love the story that much. Yeah, it wasn't what I was expecting. I was a little disappointed by this one. Then we have The Christmas Fix. I was very disappointed with this book. I was very disappointed with this one because I love Lucy Score's books, and a lot of people were talking about The Christmas Fix. Like, everyone was reading it, everyone was talking about it, and it's not a new book. It's actually an old book of hers that kind of became popular right like in December, and everyone was talking about it, and I was like, okay, I have to read this book because like everyone's talking about it. But it wasn't what I was expecting. It wasn't that great. I would give this maybe like a 3 or maybe a 2.5. I didn't enjoy this one at all. I honestly don't remember actually no, I do remember from it, but I just didn't like it. Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of this one. We have the book Check and Mate by Ali Hazelwood. This is, I think it was her first young adult book, and I thought it was really cool. It was my first time I think it was one of my first books reading for her. I don't think I've read anything by Ali Hazelwood before. But yeah, a lot of people were talking about this book, and a lot of people were saying that it's great and I loved it and whatever. I gave this one I gave it 4 stars. It was cute. I liked, like, it wasn't what I was expecting. Like, it's very based on chess, which like I thought it was going to be like an element in the story, not so heavily like emphasized as it is in the book. But yeah, I thought it was very interesting. Learned a lot of things about chess reading it. So yeah, I think it was really cool. And I'm planning on reading more of her stuff. So like The Love Hypothesis, because like that whole series is like very, very popular. So yeah, I haven't gotten around to reading it yet. So hopefully we'll get to reading it soon. The last book of 2023 is Famous Last Words by C.W. Farnsworth, and I gave this book 4 stars. It's another hockey romance. So I ended the year with a hockey romance book, and it was really cute. I can't for the life of me remember that much about it. I can't remember details, but I do remember liking this book. I finished it in one sitting. So yeah, so I finished it on December 29th as well, and I kind of took a break for the last 2 days of the year. I was like, let me just take a break for now. So that is the last book of 2023 for me, and that is 56 books. It is a great year for me. It was a great year. I have to say, I was very surprised with myself that I even surpassed my reading goal. I thought I was gonna struggle to make it to 50, but then I ended up reading 6 books past my goal. So I was very happy with myself, and I'm very happy with the books that I've read. Very little books that I didn't enjoy. I'm happy to say that there were very little books that I didn't enjoy. But again, like, my ratings changed for some of them. Some I rated them higher, some I rated lower, some stayed the same. But yeah, I was very happy with the books I read this year, and I can't wait to see what books are going to be released in 2024. Since we did very well in 2023 with 56 books, I thought I was gonna do 100. But I was like, I don't know, something about that number is very intimidating for me. So the number I have set for my 2024 reading challenge goal is 70 books. I'm already at book number 2. I've already finished reading 1 book. I'm not going to talk about it now because it makes no sense for me to. But yeah, I've already finished 1 book in the past couple of days, and I'm already on book 2. So I am definitely gonna stick with number 70. I feel like that's a good number from what I start, like going from 50 to 70. I don't think it's gonna be that hard. Definitely would be easier than 100. That is all for today's video. I hope you guys liked it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Comment down below how many books you read in 2023, or if you're planning on starting reading in 2024. And also, if you are reading, what are you currently reading? So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.